Hello and welcome to Bitcoin 10x. Hi there guys, so what I'm attempting to do is in my private group on the 24th of February I announced that I bought 2 tokens, and on the 24th I said I bought Holo token, 35,000 tokens, and T-Fuel 709 tokens. Now as the month went on, and certainly the goal to teach the group was how to buy the dips. So you get into your trade and there's a specific 28-day cycle with Bitcoin. So you know that Bitcoin is going to move for about 28 days, and for 7 days it's going to either fall or it's going to be very volatile or go sideways. And now almost too volatile to stay in and out of the market. So we take a 7-day rest, and now the next 28-day cycle, it starts on the 31st of March. However, because I know all the institutional businesses out there tend to sell on the last day to take their profits, I'm moving my personal buy entry to the 1st of April. So my next 2 tokens I'm not yet announced, but this is part 1 of the challenge. Now I'm going to bring in one of my guys. He's a good friend and a founder of one of my businesses. He's my business partner, or one of my business partners, and I'm simply going to show him a simple wedge pattern. Wedge pattern shows you 2 wide points of a chart, and they come down to a narrow point, or in a reverse area. So they start off at a narrow point and go out to a wider point, which I'll show you. So they're basically triangles, but they're called wedges on the chart. So I'm just going to pull up. This is Ethereum. So I'm just going to go back 30 days, which I tend to find on CoinGecko. 30-day chart is nice and simple to draw a wedge pattern on. And then we're simply going to pop this into a paint package. Now this is for the little guys out there who are not familiar with the charts and how to draw on the charts. So it's a nice, simple method for you to get in and out of the market just by using, what's available on your laptops. So I'm just going to take this Ethereum chart. It's got the prices on there and how the market's moved over the last 30 days. Bear with me. So I'm just going to control and copy, head over to my paint package. Now, as we know, we are in a bull market, so a lot of these trends tend to be in an ascending wedge or an ascending bull flag. That's the names of these, but just for simplicity of the video, I'm just calling it a wedge pattern. So I'm just going to paste that chart into the paint package. Okay, take a 2D shape. I'm just going to draw a line through the chart. Now, as I said, I'll go from a high point down to a low point. Make that a 2-pixel line. Move it to blue, just because I think blue looks nice. Pale blue. We can almost get away with putting that down to 1. That's absolutely fine. Just picking up the top of the market there, and then we're just going to draw a second line through the low point of the chart and where the chart is now. So this isn't necessarily a bounce point, so it might not bounce off this line. Now, as the charts are being drawn live, you would probably have to move this line around slightly. Now you can zoom out. You can go to a 4-hour chart on a trading view chart and zoom out, and you'll get a better indicator. But this is a simple way of saying, right, if you would have bought the trade down here at £900 and let the trade travel up, you were going to be looking for points where the market could look for a correction. So you've got several points here where you could have got in and out of the market. You might have even tried to sell here, but there's a definitive point as a trader that you have to make a decision. So here, definitely you can sell, and then as it starts falling, once you've drawn your straight line and your wedge pattern and you're confident that this is the bottom of the market, then you would take a buy entry. So common denominator of trading: buy low, sell high. So I'm going to flip over to Narcissus, just have a quick chat about how to draw these on several different charts. Now this was just a chart from CoinGecko. Pasted it into a paint package, which is on Microsoft. You can use Mac as well on your laptops, and there's a more complicated way on TradingView, Bitfinex, Binance. They all use the same trading signals and the same drawing methods, and I'll show that to Narcissus in the next section. Hello.
Hey, buddy.
You alright?
Took your what?
I don't know what happened there. I've been in the meeting for about 10 minutes, but you know how we set up the crypto challenge group? There was a group underneath it called General. Mm-hmm. I was in there. I was like, I don't know what happened there. There's like almost 2 groups in one. I think we were just in the other group. All good. There's quite a bit to get through. So I've been looking at stuff this morning, and it's took me about 3 hours just to make sure that what I'm going to be doing, you can see as well in your own time. So let me start screen share. You see my screen?
Hi, so you are on CoinGecko.
Yeah, so there's two ways of doing this. I'm going to show you the simple way, just so that the audience, I will put it up on the Bitcoin channel, but mainly so the audience can see just a simple little method to get in and out of the market. And then I'll show you, I wouldn't say the complicated way, but a better way to draw on the charts. And it's Binance anyway, so you should be fairly used to it. Just waiting for this to load. For that, let me just show you something. This is, did you see my last video where I did the 28-day cycle, tried to prove it on the screen?
I don't think I saw it.
No, that's not an issue.
You didn't finish, right?
No, I did the video. It's just that this is just.
Did you make a video already?
Yeah. It's just to explain briefly about the 28-day cycle. So the 28-day cycle is bull run. So the bull run, it runs for 28 days and then takes a bit of a breather, and then it goes for another 28 days. So let me. Can you see the MT4 on the screen now? This is
Yes.
Obviously, because my background's in Forex, so it's easier for me to draw it on an MT4. So going back to it was the end of 2020. I've actually gone back 28 days from here, which is, you might not be able to see my mouse, but 24th of March, which is today, I've gone back 28 days. So yeah, I've gone back 28 days, and then there's a 7-day rest period in here. And 24th of February, go back 7 days, takes you to the 15th of February, and then there's 28-day cycle prior to that. And then the 18th of January, there's a 7-day rest period, and then 28 days prior to that takes you back to the 14th of December. So you can see, in particular, in between these 28-day cycles, there's a massive surge on all of them. So even if it goes down slightly, it recovers very quickly, and then it goes up to a higher high, as they say. And then the 7-day rest period, although that carried on going up, it crashed back down to lower than what the month started. And this is what the 28-day cycle is. I'm trying to prove it by just pledging 50 quid on 2 tokens, which I'll go into. So there's going to be a 7-day rest period here, which I would hazard a guess it's going to go sideways, regardless of whether it goes. So essentially what I'm saying is there's going to be a 7-day rest period from tomorrow onwards for 7 days. But because, because the 31st of March is the last working day of the month, a lot of the institutional businesses are going to be taking their profit on the last day. So I'm not going to enter any of the tokens until the 1st of April, which is technically the 2nd day of the 28-day cycle. So we're actually running up to the 28th of April on the next 2 tokens. So this is just me marking out the bull run on the MT4. And then if we head back to these two.
Is this on a coin?
So what I'm doing now, I'm just going to have a quick chat about what I did over the last 28 days. And then we're going to go into...
but wait, and on the MT4 graph, you're showing 3 months with 7 days break in between. Is this graph the evolution of the whole market or of the calculation?
So this is just Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin. So the left-hand side here, the tab's open, is Bitcoin over US dollar. So a lot of the trading pairs that we discuss.
Okay, so this is Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin graph evolution over the.
That's right. Over the last 3 28-day cycles with the 7-day respite. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So and then because for those who don't know, who might be listening to the video, is obviously at some point in 2020, Ethereum used to move first. So when it was about £170, it would have a surge, and then Bitcoin followed it, and then all the altcoins came up behind the two trading tokens. And then it flipped about September last year, where Bitcoin was then the first thing to move, and then Ethereum, and then all the altcoins. So I marked the Bitcoin chart just to show the 28-day cycle, and then the rest period, 7 days. And then on the 1st of April, we're going to be getting into 2 altcoins, and we should see the next 28-day surge, which is going to be somewhere, obviously, in here. We should be going sort of up this way somewhere. Okay, towards the £70,000, or was it $70,000 mark, right?
Cool.
So that's just to show you how Bitcoin moves. So let's close that. It's a great little device for checking your internet as well, because it makes a boing sound when the internet drops out. It's a really clever way of testing your internet. So yeah, Holo token. I was in on the 24th of February, which is obviously last month, as most of you are. And I'll have screenshots going up on the video as well, just so that people can see the date that I entered, just to prove that I'm not just speculating. And then I bought 35,000 holo token, and then I bought 709 T-Fuel on the 24th of April. 24th of February. And that cost me £45 on T-Fuel, and on holo token that cost me, it was actually slightly more than what I thought it was. 35,000 holo token was £78 at the time. I thought it was closer to 50. So right back here, I was in on the 24th of Feb, which is about 0.002 pence. And the simple way of doing it, just to mark your entry and exit points, is taking a screen grab of the chart and copy that over to any paint. So this is for the people that might not necessarily use the charts, the live charts where you can draw on the chart. This is just for the, you know, the people that are looking at CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. Bear with me. Tested all this earlier, it was really quick, and then you jump on a call and it's really slow. Now I'm just going to paste that image into a simple Microsoft Paint package, and it wakes up. Let's try that again. There we go. So you can see on the left where the price was, it was 0.002, and we've moved up to 0.006. This is actually in GBP on this chart. So when I was getting in the market, just draw a simple line up, 2 pixels. Just going to mark it pale blue just so that it doesn't sort of stand out too much on the chart. So you can see, bear with me, I'm just going to draw that again because it wasn't quite accurate. So obviously when I'm trading this, you don't necessarily know that it's going to hit this top line here. I'm drawing the line as a focal point, so that when it starts falling away from a certain point, I know that there's going to be a straight line through there somewhere. And then this point here has already happened. Okay, so for the purpose of drawing the straight line as a focal point, I know that then this is an area to concentrate on. So the next line starts getting drawn here. Okay, so now you can see that I'm. Okay. Now my estimate, I think during the group, so he was in on the group. My estimate was 52 pence, which was not pence, but sorry, 0.0052 was my estimate that it was going to fall back to, and that's because when I started drawing the wedge pattern, you see it crossed through the 52 pence mark, which was here, and obviously was fully transparent with the group. I said 0.0052 was my entry point. So I sold 35,000 holo token here and re-entered down here, which was, again, I went back in at 35,000, so it was cheaper to buy. I actually ended up getting 35,709, and it's a simple way to buy the dip. Now it did fall slightly below it, as we know. So really jaggy.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So it fell below it, but then it started going back up again. So we're not too far ahead of where we were. It would just drop that line back in again. Now, as the chart went on, obviously you can see that it came back and hit that again, and it fell below it. So these lines, not only is it a wedge pattern, they start acting as resistance. So you draw your line in, and then your discipline has to set in and say, I've drawn that line, I'm happy with that. I'm going to keep it there and then wait for the next move in the chart before you start drawing the next wedge pattern. But because it's slightly more elongated, the line has to represent something to you as a trader. So when you're trading, this line has to be a focal point of where either the candles or the line chart is hitting at a certain point on a more regular basis. So I'm actually going to move that to there now. So now I'm going to be happy with that line. So not only does it act as resistance there, it jumps above and then starts acting like support. So it's bounced off and it's acted as support all the way along. So that here now, it's formed a slight wedge pattern. So it's a triangle here. So that is a simple wedge pattern I'm going to follow. So we've got a choice in April to carry on using the token. So obviously, as you know, I'm quite passionate about this particular token itself, and follow this from the 1st of April. So regardless of what it does from now, is keep that line in on the chart, and on the 1st of April, see if it's respected that line, and if it has, then, and it stays above this line as a support, I would rebuy it on the 1st of April. What I would be looking at is that if it does fall below, okay, it's going to be falling back to a certain point, down here, which we can't see at the moment. The only way to try and navigate that line is to draw a baseline. So it's
an
absolute bottom. Yeah. So you still see it's in an uptrend, and I tend to draw these in purple at the bottom of the chart. So the bottom of the chart, I put in an absolute baseline, and they're normally purple, and the absolute top of the market is normally orange, just to give you a focal point on these charts. And I'll show you that later on Binance as well. Okay, So now you're back to 0.002. If we scroll along the chart, we almost going back to 0.003, somewhere down here. That's absolute worst case scenario between now and the 1st of April is there. Okay, so over the next 7 days, I would expect that if Bitcoin and Ethereum drop, it will take everything else with it and bring it below these lines. But I'm going to keep the lines there as focal points, and on the 1st of April, I'm going to recheck that chart. Okay, so that's how I chose the 0.0052. Is I got it back here, and I've turned £78 into 212. That's going to be my exit point today, about £212. Okay. Now, obviously, as this momentum grows and time moves on through April, these lines will disappear, and then I'll redraw the lines, and I'll find another wedge pattern on the same chart. Just to show you.
Can I ask?
Hi there, guys. So sadly, that's where the footage got cut off, and I don't know what it was. The internet dropped out, and I actually lost the recording. Me and Narcissus carried on talking for about another 40 minutes. So unfortunately, we missed the tutorial on Binance, but it is a case of a trading view where you can go on and mark these wedge patterns quite easily. Now, the only downside is if you're not familiar with these packages, they can seem quite daunting, which is why I do the paint package there for you. Now, I will do a part 2 to this video where I show Narcissus how to draw on the chart. Now, again, I've already shown Narcissus, but he's willing to jump on another call with me just so I can show you guys. So please bear with me. I'll do another video before the 31st of March. Then just to show you my results, or tell you my results. Holo token, I gained about £120 or something like that. Just doing a very simple wedge pattern method. Getting out when I think it's peaked and getting back in when I think it's dropped, and the wedge pattern draws that and hits it nicely for me. I do the same on T-Fuel, and it's the T-Fuel footage that we lost. So I started off with 709 T-Fuel, I ended up with 801. I took that for £45 and I exited at £278. That was just in 1 month. So turned a nice profit on those 2 tokens in particular. It's used in the simple 28-day theory that I use. I've been using it for 3 months, and now I'm teaching my group. If you're interested in this, I can sit with you and do tutorials with you. I have Patreon, which I'll pop up here for you. If you join Patreon and you want tutorials, it's £45 a month. If we do tutorials and you want to drop down to the next membership, that's absolutely fine. That's £9 a month. But I do teach people how to do this. I do get in and out of the market, and I show people how to make profit on a weekly and daily basis in crypto. I learn how to kind of coach each individual personality. There's lots of variants in there, so I am capable of teaching newcomers to the space and into my group. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I've got people from Argentina, from the UK, and there are people from all around the world. So if you're interested in that, head over to Patreon. I'll look forward to seeing you. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you guys in part 2. Bye bye.